So, what have you been waiting for? Have you been waiting to see Olive's bear by chance? I think you might have. I have her here. She's all done, and I love her. It's going to be really hard to part with this little one. Hello, everybody. Didn't she turn out adorable? Oh, I love this bear. And I think Olive's going to really love her too. So I will do a close-up at the end of this video. I'll just show you, I'll take the camera off the tripod and show you a close-up of all her features. But yeah, she's got her little doll here in her pocket. But she turned out amazing. And I really want to do my memory bear now, but I'm going to wait till after into the new year because I've got things that I'm finishing up. I've got a lot of knitting to do. And but now I really want to work on my bear. But she turned out great. I'm very happy with her. And I hope you who are doing a bear like this are going to be just as happy with yours because it turned out to be a really great project. So who said you couldn't slow stitch a bear? Here's proof that you can. I didn't give this bear a name. I did make it a scarf because I think I mentioned this in my last video on her, that she's going to be living in the Yukon, and most bears have a bow or something around their neck. But because she's going to be living in the Yukon, I decided that she should have a scarf. So along with her charming little self and her scarf, I also did make her a little blanket. So she has her own little blanket that she can go to sleep with. And I also made a little ornament for Olive as well. And I've showed you this in that last video that I did, I think. I just did her a little cross-stitch angel sitting on a moon. So I think I might, if I have time, I'm not mailing this until the threat of the postal strike is over. And actually, I just read that they have a mandate to strike on the 15th, which is a couple of days. So I'm not going to mail, I'm not putting it in the mail until all of that is done, but it's for Christmas anyway. So hopefully it'll still get there in time for Christmas. So I might, if I can do it, if I can squeeze it in, I might make Olive a pair of little socks too, knit her a pair of socks. But this is her bear, an unnamed bear, and along with the bear, I am going to write a little, this whole project started with a poem. I read to you the poem that I wrote for my son and his bear, and I've been thinking about a poem to go along with this one, and I might yet do that too. If I do, I will read that to you. But if I don't get the poem written, I will put an explanation for her mom about the process of this bear. She can watch the videos as well, but I want to point out some of the fabrics that are in this bear and why I chose them. For instance, this here fabric right here, this here is from Olive's, count them now, great, 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 great grandmother. So that is actually 7 generations this piece of fabric is from. And she was a quilter, and I have a piece of her, well, I have a whole quilt of hers that hasn't been finished, and I snagged a little piece of fabric from that quilt to put in with Olive's bear. Let me see, this piece here was a piece from my mom. So that would be Olive's great grandma. That was her fabric. And then there's pieces in here from Aunt Margaret. Let me see, anything that's purple would have been from Aunt Margaret because she was the purple queen, that one. This piece here on the foot, that's a piece of Aunt Margaret. So I'm going to explain all that for Olive's mom, so that she knows the meaning of the pieces, some of the pieces in this quilt. Some of them are mine. There's another piece that was my mom's. She did a blouse out of that for herself. So yeah, there's our little slow stitch bear, and she's totally adorable. I think there are other, I've been thinking about before I did the scarf and stuff, I was thinking about maybe doing some more blanket stitches on the joins of, like the seams of the bear, but you could do that if you want. That's another option for an extra finish, but this bear doesn't need it. For instance, you could have done blanket stitch up and down this seam here, but she's perfect just the way she is she not? So here is a little close-up of Olive's bear. We'll start at the top. In her ear, she has a Mickey here, or pretend Mickey, I guess, and a puppy in this ear. And there's her face. It's a lot of little pieces of fabric, all hand-stitched and all stitched. There's some stitching on these flowers here. And then I made her a little scarf because she's going to be living in the Yukon. But underneath the scarf, there's all kinds of fancy stitches. She has a heart. She has a saying on her tummy, "Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you." And that's from Seuss. On her arm here, it's all hand stitch. It says, "I love Olive." And then she has a little pocket on her arm with a doll. And the doll is attached to a string, so she can pull the doll out and then push it back in. And then on her legs here, there's a little bird. This was off of a piece that my mom stitched. So this is from her great-great-grandmother stitching right there. And I just added a little bit of eyelash yarn and a little blingy bow. The bottom of her foot has a little, I don't know if that's a squirrel or a hedgehog. And then there's a puppy here, or a bear, sorry. And inside of this foot, there's a button and some lace and a lot of stitching. I stitched all of this on the bottom of her foot. And on the other side of her foot is a stitched lamb. 1,000,001 little stitches there. Some blanket stitching. And then woof. It's supposed to be, this one made it upside down for some reason, so it could be tomb or woof, whichever way. The hands is stitched on here. And on this hand, there's a different stitching. And then on the back, she's got a baby Donald duck. There's a flower here, a hand stitched. Some rickrack and a bunch of different stitches here. And the back of her head has some couching. This is couched on here, I think. No, it's not. Sorry, I thought it was. Some little round stitching. There's lots of French knots in here. I did not add any beads because it is for a child. There's a puppy on the back of this ear and a cat on the back of this ear. Yeah, I purposely did not put any beads on it because she's only 2 years old. So that is Olive's little bear. Olive is gonna, there's a little flower on the side of her face. And these fabrics in here are from different eras of family. This piece here was from my great-grandmother, and that would be, my brother was Olive's great-grandfather. So that would be great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers to Olive. 3 greats, so 7 generations of fabric right there. And there's fabric from different generations all through our family history in here. There's fabric from me, there's fabric from my aunt, there's fabric from great-grandma Owens, and there's fabric from my mom, which would be a great-great-grandmother. So yeah, very special little bear. And I didn't give it a name, that's up to Olive. And I am going to ask Olive's mom to record her opening of this. This is going to be a Christmas present for Olive. She won't be opening it till Christmas, but I'm really looking forward to her reaction to seeing her special bear. Oh, and on her arm, it's a little magic can take you a long way, and there's a little flower there. So that is Olive's bear. And that is the end of this series on slow stitching a bear. Thank you all for joining me in this, and those of you who are making a bear of your own. I hope you are enjoying the process, and I hope you love your bear as much as I love this little one. Now I want to start my memory bear. I have it all cut out, and I have a few stitches put into it, but there's just too much going on right now, getting ready for Christmas. So I'm going to concentrate on getting my bear going in the new year, when I can actually sit down and really enjoy the stitching part. But this has been fun. I have enjoyed this. I'm going to miss this little one so much. And I hope that you are enjoying your bear too. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming along with me. This meant a great deal to me to have you come along and share the process with me. And I hope you love your bear when you get her done.